जय हिंद दोस्तों, today's quality training program, how to measure shirt. Before we start measuring the sample, we have to make sure that the sample is properly flat and ironed so that it's easy to measure. First we need to place the garment, and then accordingly all the measurement on this part needs to be measured first. So length from this is the HPS point, from here to here straight it shows 73 centimeter. So this is front length. Next step, we have to measure shoulder seam. Some customer may measure the shoulder seam at seam, and some customers measure from fold as well. So it is mentioned in the tech pack where it has to be measured. So this is how we need to measure shoulder seam at shoulder or at seam. So next step is we need to measure across shoulder from point armhole point to point straight. We can measure it from back side as well. Okay. Next we have to measure across front. From HPS, normally customers take 5.5 from HPS and then straight across armhole to armhole seam. This sample is 16 inches across front. Then after across front, it comes to chest. Chest normally all the customers take from 1 inch. Chest maximum customers take from 1 inch from armhole down and straight seam to seam. All fullness needs to be removed. This is 21.5. Next we need to measure waist. It is almost 17 inch from HPS, then straight across seam to seam it is 21. When we come to measure the bottom hem, we need to make sure that the plackets are overlapping properly. Sometimes they are not properly overlapped, then this measurement will be big. So we have to make sure that this overlap is straight, and then measure from this point to this point. This is we need to measure shoulder slope, need to keep measurement tape straight point to point at across shoulder, and then from this point to this point. So this is 1.5 inch. Yes. Now after bottom measurement, we can measure the neck width. Neck width from seam to seam at HPS. In this sample this is 5.5, and from here this we can measure the back neck drop from this point to this point. This is almost straight because this is a stand-up collar shirt. So next we need to measure the front neck drop from HPS to at neck band seam. So it is 4.5. So this is how. So this is how we have to measure front neck drop. Okay. After front neck drop, we can measure the shoulder seam forward. This is 2 inch. At neck it is 2 inch. At armhole it is 1.5. Next measurement, we can measure pocket placement from HPS. It is 9.5 inch. Then we can measure pocket height from pocket to edge. It is 5 inch. and pocket width is, it is 4 3/4, and then pocket flap height 2/4, pocket flap height at side 1.5 inch, flap width it is 4 3/4. Normally this flap is 1/8 bigger than the pocket, so that it covers the pocket from this area. And then another spec, pocket height including flap is 5.5. So this is almost this is 5/1/8, so 3/8 bigger. So this one is the just 1/8 difference from the pocket top edge. Pocket placement from center front, always measured from center of button placket to pocket edge. This is 2 inch. Next, while checking samples, we have to see the pocket placement has to be parallel. So in this sample, if we see this is high-low, so this is not acceptable. This has to be exactly on the same line, so that this is looking lower and this is higher, so this is not okay. Next point, we can measure collar height at center back 1/4, from collar stand seam to collar edge at center back 1 3/4. This is collar height, this is collar stand, and this is collar height from seam to edge of collar. Then at front we have to measure the point, collar points from point to seam. This is 2 and 5/8. So we need to measure both points, so to make sure that the points are even. So this is just 1/16 shorter than this. So next point, we can measure the placket width. Placket width is 1/8. Then we need to measure the bottom placket as well. So bottom placket in this sample is 1 inch. So this is 1/8 shorter, so that after buttons the under placket seam should not be visible. So we have kept this under placket shorter than this. Next, first button placement from seam. This is 2 3/4. Some customer take 1.5 from neck seam. And then button distance from button to buttonhole. This is button to button 1/4. 1/4. We have to make sure that all the buttons are in the same distance. Then another POM is we can measure the last button placement from edge. So this, from this to this is 4/4. Now after measuring this, we have the armhole. Armhole can be measured in two ways, one a long curve and one another option straight like this. So first I will explain how we measure the armhole straight curve. We need to keep the shoulder side seam flat over here, and then start measuring from back. So we need to rotate the tape along the seam. So this is 9 3/8. Then we need to turn back, and then we need to keep the 9 3/8 on the point, and then start measuring front armhole. And this is complete circumference of this armhole is 19 inch. So second option, we need to measure straight. So this is 8/4 with okay. Then next is sleeve length. We have to put tape and straight 25. Now we can measure the muscle. some customers take at armhole, so armhole and then 90-degree angle. This is 8.5. So many customers take 1 inch from armhole. So after 1 inch, it is 8 3/8, and after measuring this, we need to measure the cap height. So cap height from armpit to straight 90-degree, and we need to mark this point, and then from this point to this is 4 3/4 is the cap height for this shirt. Then sleeve cap width also needs to be measured. From armhole it is almost 3.5. So total from here to here it is 8 inch. This shows 4, and then half is going back, so 4. So this is 8/4. Next measurement is the elbow. We can keep this center of the sleeve. This center is coming here. This is 6 3/4, or some customers take from 12 inch from cuff edge. So 12 inch coming here. So from here to here it's 6 3/4. Then next is the cuff opening. So cuff opening, we need to close the first button and then measure the cuff opening. Second button is kept for adjusting the spec. So after buttoning, it is 3 3/4 cuff width, and this is cuff height to 3/4. And now we need to turn back, and then we need to measure the placket length. Total placket length from point to cuff attaching seam is 6 3/8, and from placket opening is 4 3/4. So this is a box, and after box this is the opening of sleeve placket. Sleeve placket width 1 inch. Under sleeve placket width is 3/8. This is tie gap. After closing the first button, the gap between the collar attaching should be at least 1/4 inch minimum, so that it falls straight. So this is how we measure the tie gap from this point to this point. And then we need to measure the collar spread. So this is collar spread. This is 4 inch. After closing the button, what is the distance between two collar points is the collar spread measurement. It is okay. Now we turn the sample towards back, and then measure rest of the measurement of back. So across back 5 inch from HPS, and then measure straight armhole to armhole, it is 16 3/4. And yoke height from HPS to yoke seam 3.5. Collar opening button to buttonhole. This center of buttonhole. Okay. Collar top edge 16/4. Yoke height from center back 4. And then we have a dart length, back dart length from point to point 13 inch. Then distance between darts 8 3/8. At center, at top 9, at bottom 8.5.